Now I'm singing stupid Limp Bizkit. Stupid.
What?
I said keep rolling, rolling, rolling. I'm like,
Oh.
ugh. Now it's stuck in my head.
Not a fan?
No.
Okay. God, there's this Nintendo game called Cruisin' Blast. It's called Cruisin' Blast, and it's one of those ridiculous arcade-style racing games. And, like, eventually you can unlock, and your race car can be like a unicorn or a dinosaur or something. And it's got this ridiculous theme song that plays at the beginning of it. And it's like, cruising. Come on, go cruising. Right? And this podcast that I listened to called Last of the Nintendogs.
Okay.
Actually, watch it on YouTube. It's a video one. They always play it at the end of the episode, and it sticks in my brain all day long. Like, it does not go away.
Okay. Do you know how to get rid of those earworms, is what they're called?
Do you? I feel like maybe you told me this once upon a time. Do you stick your tongue to the roof of your mouth? No. Is that for hiccups?
That maybe.
Okay.
Tongue. Well, that's also if you clench your teeth a lot, you're supposed to put your tongue on the roof of your mouth. Like sometimes I feel like I give myself a headache because I'm like clenching my jaw and clenching my teeth. So if you put your tongue on the roof of your mouth, it's supposed to like release that tension for you.
Yeah, I used to have to actually do those exercises after I got my braces off to like make sure, like when you're swallowing, where basically you try to remember to park your tongue at the roof of your mouth, especially when you swallow, so you're not, or for me in this case at least, not pushing my teeth back out with my tongue.
I never heard that.
Yeah, it was weird. I had to use oyster crackers. Is that what they're called?
Yeah.
I had to use those to practice with. That was the recommended deal. And yeah, it was the specialist that I saw after I got my braces off.
That's so weird. I've never heard of that.
Yeah. And I'm not an orthodontist. I should make that clear. So please, dear listener, do your own research on this. Do
your own research. Okay.
Right.
Okay, so putting the tongue on the roof of your mouth is to release stress of your jaw, but to get rid of earworms.
Okay, yeah.
I saw this on Stephen Colbert. You're supposed to take either something of the same, like 2 notes of the same tone. That makes sense? 2. Okay, so I don't know what the correct musicology terms are, but he said, so if you say 2 syllables with the same tone, like the deodorant commercial from the 80s, by Menon.
Okay. Or like maybe Law and Order?
Bump, bump.
Right.
Maybe. But he said he learned that this trick always helped with earworms. So every time he has a song stuck in his head that he does not want stuck in his head, he does by Menon. Okay. And essentially the song, the earworm, leaves your brain. And I think it works because I've been listening to a lot of kids' music or Hamilton or songs that we play on the air that I'm like, okay, I'm done with that. Yeah, I'm done with that right now. So I have to be like, bye, Menon. They'll be stuck in my head and then it's gone.
Okay, good tip.
Yeah. That's how you get rid of those earworms, which sounds real gross, right?
Yeah, you don't want that. It actually kind of reminds me of Wrath of Khan. Did you ever see that Star Trek?
No.
Star Trek 4. I was exposed to that at an early age, and there was a scene where they put these little creepy crawlies into to people's ears.
Ew.
Yeah, I forget what they were called, but I think the idea was that it would burrow through your ear and mess up your brain. Sorry.
Eat your brain for breakfast.
Sorry for describing that, but
tasty.
Yeah, I still remember watching that and being like, as a little kid.
Yeah.
Wrath of Khan, and it was on TV, I think. Yeah, I'm fairly certain. 1982 science fiction film. Yeah, for sure. And so who knows? I may have seen that when I was 5 or something.
Wholesome flick. Yeah.
I think it's not. I mean, Star Trek isn't typically well. I don't know. There's the floating blood scene in Star Trek: The Undiscovered Country, Star Trek 6. But
way out of my wheelhouse here on Star Trek.
I feel like I've seen the original Star Trek once, Star Trek 2, Wrath of Khan, a decent, maybe 4 or 5 times, with interruptions. And Star Trek 4, which I think is The Search for Spock, I've seen a couple of times. That's the Wales one. And Star Trek 6, The Undiscovered Country, which had... Is it Christopher Columbus, the actor? Chris Columbus?
Chris Pine?
No. An older guy that just died somewhat recently, actually.
Plumber,
there you go.
Columbus is not an actor.
Director, right?
Columbo?
Chris Columbo. Columbo. I'm not talking about the guy that traversed the world, right?
Okay.
Or I'm not...
Traverse.
I'm not talking about the guy who, I'm not talking about the guy on the ship that came here.
The explorer.
Right. There you go. Chris Joseph Columbus is an American filmmaker.
Okay.
There you go. See, I knew there was a thing.
What did he direct?
Let's see.
Anything we know? If you say Star Trek, I'm out.
That's right. Actually, I just saw him recently on that HBO Harry Potter special. He directed the first 2 films.
Oh, okay.
Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone and Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets.
If your last name is Columbus, why in God's name would you name your child Christopher? That's just dumb. No.
He was also a producer for Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. And also The Help, Percy Jackson and the Olympians, The Lightning Thief, and the 3D action comedy Pixels.
Okay.
Yeah, did an HBO special on the Harry Potter franchise because it's been like 20 years or something. I think maybe that's the anniversary.
Is this the reunion special?
Yeah, the reunion special. It's really good.
Is it?
It's a lot of Daniel Radcliffe talking to individual actors one at a time.
So like he's the interviewer?
Yeah, and he's the one kind of pushing the conversation because they're kind of reminiscing about things. Like Helena Bonham Carter.
Mm-hmm.
Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
She and him have a one-on-one, which is pretty flirty and ridiculous.
Oh.
Yeah. And then Chris Columbus, the director, like them talking about how, like, yeah, we were little kids and you made it fun and were obviously patient with us because we were trying to think of the right phrase that doesn't include something that might be considered joking around, messing around on the set.
Hooligans.
Yes, shenanigans.
There you go.
Yeah. Hooligans performing shenanigans.
Put a dent in the old bada box.
I thought you were going to say liver.
Redvolution. We'll sneak up on you.
Yeah, Redvolution. The wine I bought the other day at Sam's Club. It's a 3-liter box of wine. It says it's good for, quote, up to 30 days. I think the word's up to, carrying a lot of weight there, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Have you personally, so this is a recommendation, I mean, I shouldn't say, you didn't recommend it to me personally because you didn't know I was really seriously considering starting to try out some wine.
Right.
But you had mentioned before in the past, bought a box, this box of wine, a higher end Franzia, more or less, right? Isn't that how you would describe it?
Yes. I
saw it at Sam's Club the other day, and it was $15, and I decided to snag it. And then on the show, I'd mentioned that when we compared it to Franzia, which was 5 liters, which is a lot of wine. Do you know, does Franzia, however you say it, do you know how you say that?
I always say Franzia, but when I'm trying to be funny, I say, Franzia.
Yeah. I was not trying to be funny there, but yeah, I thought maybe it was Franzia.
Franzia.
You're going to France, right? Because you're going to France, not to France. Hey, it's great being in France. I'll take an escargot, please. You say to the French waiter who says, I don't know, Kate, can you do a French?
Oui, oui. Oh,
oui, oui.
oh, oh.
Yeah, that.
Ooh la la. Yeah,
Right,
but you don't
right,
tell
right.
people that you're going to France. If you're traveling and somebody goes, "Where are you going?" France.
Right. Correct. Unless you're being silly. But when you're in France, you say francs, and then if you're snooty, you probably do say francs in the US. Surely there's people that say francs. You know.
I don't know.
Okay. Well, either way, I'm saying basically,
yeah.
it sounds classier to say Franzia.
I agree.
But yes, I tried this Bada box the other night, and it's pretty good, pretty impressive.
I love how I've taken over your pronunciation, Matt.
Which one?
Bada box.
Oh, Bada box. Yeah, that's great. Oh wait, no, that's no good. Boda box.
I know. I love it. Keep saying Bada box because that makes more sense. I bought a box.
See what you've done to me?
I know, you've said it like 4 times, and I love it.
Damn it. Boda box.
Because you bought a box of wine.
That's true.
Yeah. It's clever marketing.
Clever. Mm-hmm. So have you tested this 30 days pledge of Boda box, Kate?
What's the pledge of Boda box?
Well, since they say it's good up to 30 days, I'm curious.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, I have.
You've managed to hold one and not drain it for 30 days? I'm impressed.
Yes. Yes.
Well, that's great. Then what do you do on the 30th day? Continue drinking it, right?
Well, yeah.
Cook with it.
Have I cooked with... I don't think I've cooked with Bada Box. I may have. I think Monty has for sure. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I've never cooked with wine.
Oh, yeah.
So, and then on the box, it says, take it camping, take it to, it's got all these outdoor activities it wants you to do.
Tailgating, take it, yeah. All these places. Hiking.
It doesn't say anything about just drink it at home.
Nope, it says put it in your backpack and get on the move with your 5 bottles of wine in a cardboard box.
3, right? 3 bottles?
3. Yeah, 3.
Okay. It's far more backpackable than a Franzia is.
Mm-hmm.
Because, dear listener, if you are not familiar, the Boda box, I had to really think about that.
You bought a box. I love it.
So the Boda box, it's like a foot tall, and then the top of it's like 5 inches by 5 inches, maybe.
It's got a little handle,
and it's square, right? Isn't it square on top?
Mm-hmm.
So it's a lot. It's nice. It's a nice little pillar of wine, as opposed to the Franzia, which is more of a briefcase of wine.
Well, but I think isn't it Franzia because they're both okay. I don't know enough about Franzia, but I think both of the flavors were supposed to be refrigerated. So I think that's why it's supposed to be tall and skinny so you can put it in your fridge and not take up a lot of room. Yeah,
all right.
That's a theory. I don't know. Franzia can call me and say, no, that's not at all. I don't know.
No, that makes total sense because it can hug the sidewall. That makes sense. Okay. Whereas if you were to put this Boda box into the fridge, you might end up using a shelf potentially.
Right.
It might fit that. Yeah, it would. It would fit mine for sure. Yeah.
Yep.
You know, this wine talk, the other day I was telling you, I don't know, what temperature should I be drinking this wine at?
Yeah. Where'd you land?
Where did I land? Mm-hmm. Oh, God. I don't know. So I ended up on my final glass throwing a couple of ice cubes in.
Okay.
Martha Stewart approved.
Yes.
And I had just recently, this is a coincidence that it arrived, the same day I cracked open the Boda box. I ordered a kitchen thermometer.
Okay.
That has the probe in it.
Yeah.
When I was at their site, I also ordered one of those guns, those temperature guns that you can aim at different things and take the temperatures of, like around your house. Or I'll tell more about that on a different story or show or something.
Okay.
But
okay,
I ended up throwing a couple of ice cubes in on the final one and probed it, and it was like it did end up getting about 50, which did taste right.
You probed it or you gunned it?
I both.
Okay.
Ultimately, because I was playing with the gun first. I was playing with the That's a bad phrase out of context, but I was playing with the temperature gun. It was so cool, especially since it was cold,
right?
And hitting different parts. It's like, oh man, I need to address this part of this door or window or whatever it might be, or adjust vents, taking temperature. It's a real dorky thing for me to have. So I played with that first, but then eventually, I cracked open the food thermometer and stuck that in there and waited for it to get down to 50. And I tried that and I was like, okay, this seems right, but it was fine, just room temperature.
Yeah.
Just red wine.
So do you think you're going to start out with a couple of ice cubes next time, or?
That might be a good idea. Next time, start out with a couple of ice cubes and then go back to room temperature to see, just mix it up, reverse it. I don't know. For the unfamiliar, I just now drinking wine for the first time since a couple of nights in college.
Which I'm sure it was really good wine in college.
it was Franzia. It was Franzia for sure.
Oh, so yeah.
Oh no, I've had wine somewhat recently, but it was one of those slap the bag kind of situations where it was just a ritual that I needed to partake in pre-pandemic, probably like 5-6 years ago or something.
Gotcha.
Slapping the bag and taking pulls off of it during a pandemic.
Slap in the bag. That's how my friend Stephanie used to tailgate for Royals games. She'd bring a bag of Franzia.
Okay.
I called it wine, or was it box stands off the Franzia bag? Not really, but...
Box stands. Yeah, like a keg stand, but with a box
wine.
Well,
and it kind of happened funny, like, hey, we got tickets to the Royals. We got to go now. Like, we don't have time to go to the liquor store or anything like that. And she's like, wait. I got a bag of Franzia, like not in the box in the fridge, just like grab the bag. Okay. We were classy young adults at Kauffman Stadium.
Yeah, well, that just reminds me of back in early 20s, something like that.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
We went to the K to watch a doubleheader, and we did not go into the stadium until like the 7th inning of the first game.
I was going to say doubleheader just sounds ambitious.
Yes.
I don't know that I could have ever successfully pulled off a doubleheader.
Now, we successfully made it to the stadium at time for first pitch of the first game, but we just stayed in the parking lot and overconsumed.
Right.
That's what your story just reminded me of.
That is exactly what we did at Royals games. We called it outdoorsiness.
Outdoorsiness?
We're outdoorsy if that means drinking in a parking lot or on a patio. Yeah.
That makes it more acceptable?
Yeah, if you say, oh, I'm the outdoors type. If that means drinking outside and not like, hunting or fishing or camping.
Yeah. It's like, where am I going to drink this Boda box?
Right? Oh, you have lots of time ahead of you out on your deck with a nice box of wine, Matt. Are you excited?
Well, I'm glad that I'm just now trying wine during the wintertime. Because I already, the other night I had 1.5 too many.
You were overserved?
Standard pours, not generous, not Kate-sized pours. These are nice, these wireless ones.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. What kind of headphones are you using these days?
I've got the Beats that I stole from my children.
Are they the in-ear kind, or?
No, they're big old headphones. Bluetooth, wireless, but I've got them.
Oh.
I don't know if they know where the charge cord is, so I just have them plugged into the board and to my phone.
Do you have workout headphones?
No. I just use not earbuds, but they're not wireless. They've got cords.
Yeah, the Apples, the white ones with
No. They're generic, like $3 for $5 on Amazon.
Gotcha.
Because usually when I'm working out, I just have the iPad on speaker.
Yeah, I really like the wireless ones, and there's tons of them out there. The ones that I currently own are Apple's AirPods Pro with they've got good noise cancellation. They were really nice on the plane.
Well, that's good.
But yeah, there are definitely some better models out there, and I shouldn't say better, but models that are pretty close or potentially better than these, depending on, these are great to move between your iPhone, your iPad, your Mac. They're kind of that Apple lock-in kind of deal, like. And there's a Beats equivalent that's more designed for working out, but I feel totally fine running in these.
Yeah, I just have the cord.
And disclaimer, I used to work at Apple, so.
Disclaimer.
Disclaimer, I used to work at Apple and still have some stock as a result of that.
Yeah, these generic ones that I got from Amazon, I feel like they fit better than the Apple ones in my ear. Like the way that the Apple, I just don't like that design.
Yeah, the more recent design, right? The one that's more oddly shaped than the circular ones from the old iPod days. Right.
Yes. The iPod ones fit in my ears better.
Oh, the previous ones did?
Yeah, the round ones is what I was trying to say, sorry.
Gotcha. Yeah, something about like the regular AirPods, like these ones have the silicone tips and they come with 3 different ones so that you can try to dial in the right one. The standard AirPods are basically the ones that you were just talking about. The wireless equivalent of what I believe is called the EarPods.
Okay.
What those ones are called. But by virtue of them not having wires on them, they just really can rest in your ear. Like there were times when I became unaware that it was sitting in my ear, whereas these ones, the AirPods Pro with the silicone, eventually you're like, I need to get that out of my my ear. Speaking of earworms from earlier.
I've got the round ones with the silicone, and I went shopping and I had them in my ears, and so I was just, listening to something, and then when I got to the car, I had to do something, and I took them out of my ear, and I was setting them down, and I went to do something else, and I put them back in. I was like, oh no, one of the little silicone tops came off of one. Shoot. And I thought, maybe I can just put it in my ear without the silicone top, and I went to put it in there, and there was the silicone top still in my ear that I didn't know. I was like, okay, let's get that guy out, fix him right up, and we're good to go.
Still worked. This was an Amazon set, you said?
Yeah. 3 for $5.
Gotcha.
Yep.
I tell you what.
I love them.
I really recommend the wireless ones. Not having that wire bounce around is pretty nice.
Yeah. I don't know. It doesn't bother me as much.
I used to have silicone tipped headphones a while back, a few years ago, that had a wire attached, and I felt like I could hear that wire like hitting my chest when I was running or whatever.
Oh.
You don't have that issue?
No, because when I'm wearing them, I'm usually not running. I'm like just shopping or like working in the house. Like if I'm cleaning the house and I've got a podcast on, I can just put them on. And
Right.
Here's the other thing. When I'd run my races and I'd have my headphones.
Yeah, that's what I'm curious about.
I'd have them behind me.
Okay.
So I would have it threaded through my t-shirt, but behind me instead of in front of me.
Yeah, that's a really good way to wear wired headphones. So they go down your back. They basically go down your spine into your phone, which is in like your pocket.
Yeah, or my flip belt, or yeah.
Oh yeah, your utility belt.
I had one of those. What's the other thing where you strap it on your arm, like one of those things?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I also don't run with them in my ears. Like I put them in my hat, and then I put my hat on, so it's close to my ears.
Oh.
Yeah, I can't run with them in my ears.
You're able to jack the volume loud enough that you can hear it?
Yep.
More or less? Is that what you're saying?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, that's why I like those light ones, right? Doesn't that make sense? Because there's less tugging on your ears, basically, because the wire kind of tugs on your ears.
Right. I don't like the feeling so much of them. I don't know. Maybe it's...
Okay.
I'm getting better about earbuds because I used to only wear them when I was running in a race, but I needed the music when I ran in the race, but I didn't want them in my ears for 2.5 hours. So I just tucked them in my hat.
Wow, that's impressive.
Yeah. Yeah. I even had a headband where I could put them in my headband and then put my hat on so they stayed in place. Yeah.
That's really smart.
Yeah. Thanks, Matt.
You're welcome. Now, when was the last time you did that?
It would have been that I ran a race 3 years ago.
Okay, so now your phone might yell at you for listening to headphones too loud, right? Potentially.
Does it?
Have you got that notification before on your iPhone?
No.
Well, I'm not going to name them, but someone here at work came up to me one day and they're like, is there any way to turn this off? I keep on getting this message. And it was headphone volume too loud, basically. Like the phone now has that built into it, where if you're juicing the headphones, it will kind of give you that feedback. Like, by the way, your headphones are kind of loud.
Oh.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. But when this person asked me about it, I said, it's not Cindy. To be clear, it's not Midday Sensation Cindy Campbell.
Not our girl Cindy. Yeah.
Here on KJ1055, it's someone else in the building. But I said, well, have you considered just listening to your headphones less loud? Like, that's kind of there for... And then I helped her figure out how to disable that message.
There you go.
Yeah. If you've already blown out your ears, I mean, what are you going to do?
Right. Too late now, Apple. Just give me the volume.
Yeah. I've already fried my ear. That's something to really think about. And it's something I've been aware of for a very long time, especially for the unfamiliar in radio. We're wearing headphones pretty much all the time. We're talking on the air. And I've always been very aware of, like, keep the volume low and try to just have one headphone on at a time. Because loud headphones is a real good way to fry your eardrums. As is, like, really loud concerts. It's really good to probably take earplugs to concerts, especially for the kids, to protect the kids' ears. Because so far, at least, that's one of the biggest challenges, is restoring people's hearing. It's just not typically possible to do that on, like, with the surgery or whatever. You're looking at needing a piece of electronics, a hearing aid or whatever, a cochlear implant. Right? Yep. That's a thing. So protect your hearing now, before it's too late.
Before it's too late. I'm just thinking I probably should have heard this message when I was in my teenage years, but no.
You're hearing pretty bad?
I think it is. I've been tested and they say my hearing is fine, but I disagree. I am constantly asking, wait, what did you say? Say that one more time.
Yeah.
And I will constantly be looking at people's mouths when they talk, which with the masks, that's made it much harder. But with masks on, I feel people aren't as, like, impatient or upset when I ask them to repeat themselves. But I've been doing closed caption on the TV for quite some time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I like having closed captions on. I pretty much keep them on always, just because there's so many lines of dialogue. Like, if I rewatch a movie I've seen a million times, there will be a piece of dialogue that I'd missed previously. So I don't think it's necessarily driven by hearing loss, but I do really like having captions on. And for certain shows, if they've got, like, I've been watching Euphoria a decent bit on HBO, it's got a really good soundtrack. And from all different decades, it's really good. It's really nice because without me needing to Shazam it or whatever, I can see on the screen what the song was. Or
nice.
Yeah.
I really like the closed captions when I'm watching shows with different accents. Like when I'm watching shows with British accents or Irish accents, I'm like, what'd he say? Yeah. I like.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, having the closed captions for that.
Yeah, the biggest movie I can think of right now that would be helpful for is The Dark Knight Rises. Is that what it's called? The final one with Christian Bale. Tom Hardy, I think, plays the bad guy. Am I right on that?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
He's in Venom. Is he also in Batman?
Let me double check real quick.
Okay.
Tom Hardy, Batman. Tom Hardy played Bane in The Dark Knight Rises.
Okay.
And he's also really good in, what's that one with Charlize Theron? Mad Max Fury Road. Isn't he in that too?
I don't know. I haven't seen that one. He's really good in Peaky Blinders.
Okay. Yeah, so good actor. He is so hard to understand in Batman Rise, or The Dark Knight Rises, because he's got this mask on and this really weird voice. And so that's a good example of...
Does he have his British accent as well?
He talks it's really bizarre.
Okay.
Batman. You know, it's a bizarre, Muppety kind of sounding. He sounds like a smothered Muppet.
Okay. Because smothered Muppet and a smothered British Muppet, I think, would be really hard to understand.
Right. I was supposed to see Muffled Muppet at the Granada.
Oh, Muffled Muppet? Nice.
But they got sued by Disney and had to change their name
to
Muffled Puppet.
Muffled Puppet. Just doesn't have the same ring to it.
They had to send all their merch to a third world country like they do after the Super Bowl.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. Muffled Puppet. Not as catchy as Muffled Muppet.
Nope. Not at all. And by the way, their second album is far and away their best.
Which is hard. Sophomore albums are really hard to pull off.
I think it's the third one that's really difficult. Like, you really kind of want intermediate success on the first one, maybe, and then the second one you break through. I don't know.
Okay.
I'll have to do some research and get back with you.
Okay, thanks.
Oh, yeah, you're welcome.